message. We are Ken Jennings and John Roderick. We speak to you from our present, which we can only assume is your distant past, the turbulent time that was the early 21st century.
Fearing the great cataclysm that will surely befall our civilization, we began this monumental reference of strange and obscure human knowledge. These recordings represent our attempt to compile and preserve wonders and esoterica that would otherwise be lost.
So whether you're listening from an advanced civilization or have just reinvented the technology to decrypt our transmissions, this is our legacy to you.
This is our time capsule. This is the Omnibus. You have accessed entry 836.PS4207. Certificate number 54642. Niagara Falls in a barrel.
Riverman William Hill looks over his rubber barrel made of 14 tubes bound with fishnet, which he believes will take him safely over Niagara Falls.
I guess it's true. You thought it should be over Niagara Falls in a barrel. I just didn't want to start with
an O.
Preposition.
That's right. Don't start with a preposition.
Well, no, that's not a rule. It just sounded a little wordy for a title.
Don't end with a preposition. Is that no longer a rule? You seem to be one of these people that's like, that grammar rule is, we don't use it anymore because it's racist.
It's a rule I don't F with.
With.
See?
Yeah, beautiful.
As demonstrated. I don't want to make it sound like Niagara Falls is in the barrel.
No, but I feel like
it wouldn't fit.
Over the Niagara Falls in a barrel is the way that we've always described the phenomenon.
I would say going over Niagara Falls in a barrel, but that's like 8 words.
Yeah,
has there ever been an 8-word omnibus episode? Probably.
I don't know. Who knows?
What are you exactly? I'm no longer the official historian of omnibus. I don't need to know this stuff anymore.
You said as you came in, you were like, "This is the best part. This is what I missed the most."
This was the only good part.
Yeah, coming into your basement and doing the show. But preparing a show is still hard.
Yeah, and all the stuff around it. And also, I have to say, leaving your basement is a bummer because it's always like 5 hours later. Like I'm always excited to record omnibus. But like after doing 2 or 3 in a row, I'm glad we're doing 2. 3 was a lot.
Yeah, 3 was a lot. Remember when we did 4?
We used to do 4 every week.
We used to do 4 every week. I think you can probably hear every 4th show was just, and every 4th show was mine.
That's right.
Because we always started with you.
You really took it on the chin.
Every 4th show is just like, so anyway.
Ken's playing spelling bee. I'm pretending to be interested in.
There were some times you actually took phone calls in the middle. You were like, hang on.
We cut him out of the show.
Yeah, I know, but it's a little bit like, it was a little discouraging, I have to say.
Don't make me choose between you and my agent.
He said, my agent's calling and he wants me to be part of this webinar.
Did I say it like that? Webinar.
But no, coming down into the basement, this is the amazing thing about being your friend. You always feel it. You always project that you have somewhere else to be.
John, this is not projecting. This is absolutely true. I always did.
No, I know I know your life. I know where you have to be. There's nowhere you have to be. You have to go home and make dinner.
You are thinking of you. I am here in violation of the 4 other things that I'm late doing. But it's still
mostly,
a pleasure.
I think you wake up in the middle of the night feeling like you have somewhere else to be. I think it's a personality disorder. I think it's an anxiety disorder.
I don't think it's an anxiety disorder. Although I do never want to talk to anyone for 5 hours straight.
Right.
If I'm sure there's a spectrum of people, whether I would just love to talk to somebody for 5 hours. John Roderick is a normal person, would rather jump off a bridge. And that's me.
Rather jump off a bridge. Even me?
I'm not going to say especially you, but I'm not going to not say especially you.
I mean, I'm a lot.
Yeah, but that's what makes you a broadcaster and a podcaster.
Broadcaster and a podcaster.
Yeah, I guess it was supposed to rhyme with broadcast, but iPod.
I like that. That's a good. I feel like
you're going to get new business cards.
No, I feel like you could do a rap, and it could go up on social media. I feel like you're ready now. You are the level of mainstream celebrity where it's possible that you could do a rap like Phil Donahue or like
about the environment.
Yeah, do a rap about the environment, and I think it would get some Gen Z play. I think it would get Gen A play.
What's Gen? Oh, Alpha. I see.
Yeah, Gen Alpha.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually working on a rap about the environment right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready for it. I think the world is ready for it.
Valdez nuts.
I mean, I think it would be. I think Gen A would say that it was cringe and try hard, and unk. But I think all those things are said
secretly
with a little admiration.
Yeah, Gen Alpha craves chopped and unk.
They do.
That's what they want.
They do.
Deep down. So it's just Niagara Falls in a barrel.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's the action. It's not trying to put the falls in a barrel. A fool's errand. We should explain to the far future audience, Niagara Falls was much bigger than a barrel.
Once upon a time, Niagara Falls was an incredible natural feature of the North American continent.
I looked up to see have we talked about Niagara Falls before, and it came up in Love Canal.
Yeah, we've been around it. We've done some shows adjacent to Niagara Falls.
What do you think about waterfalls in general? Do you have what's
fan.
The official? Yes.
Huge
right?
fan. Yeah, love them.
Like the waterfalls, even a not very good waterfalls, like an 8 or a 9, right?
From here in Seattle, we can day trip to a dozen incredible waterfalls.
Really good waterfalls.
You walk 20 minutes up a forest trail.
And they're all called Bridal Veil Falls because pioneers were like, you know what, I guess they're always like, that rock's a cathedral. That waterfall's a bridal veil.
They were saying it to their daughter who was standing there in a bonnet. You know what that reminds me of? Marrying off your daughter.
I thought maybe they were just horny. They're just thinking about marriage wherever they go. Like,
yeah, right.
There's no women here in the West.
Remember when we got married? Let's revisit it.
I had dinner last night with a friend, and waterfalls came up, and I was reminded that her brand is not liking waterfalls. Like when I travel with her, she'll even be like, we're not going to the waterfall.
Now, wait a minute. When you say dinner with a friend and then you say travel with her, this can only be one person.
I'm having an affair. You think it's my wife?
No.
It is not.
I know she's not your friend. I know
we're friendly.
Yeah, friendly.
We're cordial.
Yeah, you guys nod at one another.
We're co-parenting.
Oh, hi. And her shtick, because I'm not going to go as far as call it a brand, her bit is that she doesn't like waterfalls?
And will complain if asked to walk to one. And I didn't understand it.
What is the logic?
I was actually, we were somewhere, we were in maybe Hokkaido with them where there's great waterfalls, and she's like, and we were like, this one's literally 10 minutes from the hotel. We don't have to leave the grounds.
World-class waterfall.
Of this onsen. And she's like, nah. And her thinking is just that she's been burned too many times.
By a substandard waterfall?
Yeah, the idea is, waterfalls are often used as a destination. Like if you can't get to a summit or a viewpoint, the hike will take you to a waterfall, and that's where you eat your sandwich or your protein bar and you turn around. Mm-hmm. And I think that galls her. That she's taken to a point. It's boring. It's not the National Geographic Channel level waterfall. And then she just turns around and goes back to the car, and she's like, really?
Is she someone who also doesn't like staring out at the sea?
Oh, that's a good question. Or a fire?
Or staring at a fire, building a campfire and sitting and staring at it which is one of my, I'd say in the top 5 things that I like to do in my life. If I listed
my favorite TV shows, it would be just looking at a fire, and then it would be like The Wire.
You remember when the TV had the Fireplace channel?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Streaming services, by the way, have this. I just discovered
the Fireplace channel.
I found out that you can turn on various Yule log. Almost every streaming channel has some Yule log you can look at in May if you want. And that's why you like waterfalls, right? You really can.
You just sit and stare at a waterfall.
The sound is good.
And here in Washington, there are, like I say, easily accessible, totally great waterfalls. Is she against Snoqualmie Falls?
I don't know. Maybe. So I think no, because what this turned into is her kind of grudgingly admitting that she has, in the last 5 to 10 years, pivoted a little more towards waterfall tolerance.
Yeah.
Waterfallerance.
Yeah.
And she credits the nation of Iceland.
Oh.
Which has really good waterfalls and nothing much else going on.
Super good.
No trees to distract you, certainly.
Right.
A few sheep. So yeah, like the destination waterfalls of Iceland really made her stroke her waterfall skeptic chin and say, okay, that was pretty good. But I just thought it was the dumbest hipster thing to say, like, oh, I don't like waterfalls, because waterfalls are amazing. Water's up here.
Then it's down there.
It has to get down there. It does so in the most noisy fashion.
Well, so there are a few kinds. There's the waterfall that's like a giant drop. And
Right.
then there's the waterfall, which is a rapid, but taken together, the distance of it is short enough that it's like a rapid, but also a waterfall.
And sometimes the drop ones can be such a drop that they kind of evaporate on the way down. They don't.
Hawaii has some good ones.
Yeah, and there are some that like literally will evaporate before they hit. Most of them, the wind just kind of whips it up. And there's one on Maui, the one around the back of Haleakala,
which they don't let you go to anymore, right?
Is that true?
I think it was one of these things where I don't know.
A lot of the pools over there you can't swim in. I think you can still hike up through the bamboo forest to that waterfall. I was looking into accounts of the first Europeans to see these great waterfalls, because Europeans, having not been to Iceland, really only had Switzerland, which has amazing waterfalls, but they would hear about them, like they were see etchings.
In the UK, there are water courses where the water gets running fast, right? Aren't there a few?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that there's no waterfalls in the Lake Country or the Scottish Highlands.
District,
I'm sure there is up in the Lake District. Well, I can't remember if I saw one.
Yeah.
But that kind of plays into this account of when Dr. Livingston first sees Victoria Falls. But I went all the way back to the conquistador Cabeza de Vaca, who first came to Iguazu Falls in 1541, where I've never been, but apparently is a real
super good,
huge, overwhelming, not just tall but wide waterfall network. And
that's the one down in Uruguay, Argentina.
Yes,
I was really close to going to it, because I was there, Uruguay-ish, and somebody was like, yeah, there's this boat trip. You go up to the falls, and it's a whole universe of falls.
And you knew nobody would take a picture of you, so you were
and I was like,
screw this.
Yeah, sure. I'm from Alaska. I've seen as many waterfalls as you've had hot dinners. And then I saw pictures of it, and I was like, that was actually kind of worth going to.
But the funny thing is, Cabeza de Vaca, whom, by the way, my 10th grade history teacher always called, mysteriously, Cabez de Vica.
Isn't it like, doesn't that name mean like crazy head?
Cowhead.
Cowhead.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just always think about Mr. Gum in 10th grade insisting that it was Cabez de Vica, and just looking at the word and thinking, even if I didn't speak Spanish, I think I would know.
Oh, so my daughter is taking a theology class, an Old Testament class at her high school. And it's one of her best.
She's in a
teachers.
parochial school. I forgot.
That's right.
I thought you guys were just taking her out of school for an hour a day and homeschooling her real weird on the Old Testament.
The Old Testament, a book that plays no role in any of our lives. But her professor, who is a millennial, but he's also one of these Bible as literature guys, which is great, and it's one of her favorite classes. He pronounces it the Torah. And she came home one day and she was like, well, the Torah. And I said, stop right there. There are things I will tolerate, but I am not going to do one of these.
Torah.
My teacher calls it the Torah. Because I had a.
Like, would you ever? Does anybody say that? Is he just confused? It's not like some very traditional rabbi would say Torah.
No, he's insisting on it. I don't know. I had a professor at the University of Washington who said the word was onomatopoeia.
It's Hawaiian.
I said it's not. It's onomatopoeia. We agree.
We've decided
that we don't do the Greek. The AE onomatopoeia. He said
when Cabez de Vica saw Iguazu Falls, he's actually very clinical. He says he calls it Santa Maria Falls, Salto de Santa Maria, and he says his description is water and foam fall so hard it climbs up 2 spears and more. This conquistador had no poetry in his soul. He saw Iguazu Falls and his thing was like, boy, the water hits so hard it then bounces like, I don't know, 2 spears?
Is this like a smoot where
exactly.
they hadn't invented metric yet?
Yeah, Europe wasn't snotty about the metric system yet. They were still measuring everything in spears.
It's 2 spears high.
But let's do Niagara a second. In the 19th century, of course, the thing that happened was 18th and 19th century, the Romantics discovered that nature was full of awe and wonder. Right. And nothing...
Beauty and sensuality.
Yeah, not just beauty, but like almost a kind of, a rugged passion. Yeah, like the nature is sublime, they would say, which encompasses not just beauty, but also, fury.
Fury. Oh, fury. But they also believe that the Native Americans were like some sort of pure, untrammeled...
Yeah, because they were living near all this sublime stuff, and it made them super chill and enlightened.
Yeah, that's
And so to them, a waterfall. So these people, Goethe would go to all the waterfalls in Switzerland, and then he would go home and write sad poems about them, and people would paint them, and so Switzerland really, the waterfalls of the Alps, really inspire a generation of artists. But in 1855, when Dr. Livingstone saw Victoria Falls, it became the first European to see Victoria Falls, which I think they had called, the locals had called the smoke that thunders. Here's his take compared to the watercourses of England. He says, no one can imagine the beauty of the view from anything witnessed in England. It's such a great understatement. The thing about Victoria Falls is it's really not like England.
Not at all.
I've seen the canals of Manchester, and this is way different. It had never been seen by European eyes, but seen so lovely must have been gazed upon by angels in their flight.
Oh, wow.
And then there's Niagara, which for much of the existence of our country was kind of the great American wonder. Before there was the
Yosemite.
West. Yeah, exactly. Before there was John Muir going to Yosemite, before there was the Grand Canyon, which arguably is maybe what foreigners would say is the great American natural formation. It was always Niagara Falls because, even though it's out in the wilderness, it's just outside of Buffalo, New York. So it was accessible from the colonial period on. And it was first spotted, the first description of it is by Father Louis Hennepin, that can't be right, Hennepin, in 1679, whose expedition saw it, and he was the cleric, so he could read and write, and wrote down, betwixt the Lake Ontario and Erie, there is a vast and prodigious cadence of water, which falls down after a surprising and astonishing manner.
Yes.
Both surprising and astonishing.
Yes.
Insomuch that the universe does not afford its parallel. Wow.
Is that, I think that may be true. How?
'Tis true, Italy and Switzerland boast of some such things.
Sure.
But we may well say they are but sorry patterns when compared to this of which we now speak.
Dag.
Like he's really like, the Alps cannot compete.
Sorry patterns.
And he's not wrong, because Niagara is pretty good.
It's really good.
It's really good. I think it's probably no Victoria or Iguazu, but...
Well, because it's so broad that it feels like it's in a different category, and it's also not really coming out of the jungle or coming off the top of a mountain. It's like it's implausible.
You've been there, right?
I have. I made a special trip, unlike the waterfall in Argentina, which
by special trip, do you mean like where were you already? Buffalo?
Yeah.
Wow. So hold on, you drove 25 minutes?
Yes. No, in fact, I think I took a bus. We were playing a show in Buffalo. No. We drove the van. Playing a show in Buffalo, and I said, listen, fellows, we're going to go to see the Niagara Falls. And they all said, Dad, do we have to?
It does have kind of a weird, fusty mid-century vibe now because it was the honeymoon place, right?
It does. Well, and it just seems like, yeah, exactly. Like, we're going to go see Wally World.
It does seem like forced, Americana, right?
They just wanted to go to the venue and look at their computers. And I said, we're going to go see this American thingamabob.
Also Canadiana, by the way.
And Canadiana.
We're going to get letters.
And the first thing one of the first things that strikes you is it's the Canadian side that has all the hotels and all the hot action, because the waterfall faces Canada. From the American side, it just is like a big river that disappears. So the
Canadians got the view. We got the waterfall. They got the view.
The Canadians have the hot action.
But actually, what that has done, because I've been twice, once from each side. Mindy's parents used to live in Ottawa, and he was a diplomat. He was stationed at the embassy, and like all people of his generation, he loved a road trip. So every time we would visit Mindy's parents, they would just hop in the car and drive to nowhere.
Did they have a station wagon?
Almost. It was, I'm sure metaphorically, it was their crossover was a wood-sided station wagon in their minds. And it really was just like, here's somewhere random in Quebec we went a couple weeks ago and liked, oh, well, the gondola's closed. Well, let's turn around and go home. But they drove us down to Niagara Falls. On the Canadian side, Niagara Falls, New York is basically kind of a decaying Rust Belt town. Yeah. With then you walk through a park and get to the
That's
falls.
The thing. From Buffalo to Niagara Falls, it's just one abandoned factory after another.
Correct.
It is not like scenic, except if you love rusty factories, which I do.
But Canada's arguably worse because theirs is just like Reno.
Yeah, it's casinos.
Yeah, it's casinos and a Hard Rock Cafe, and there's 2 blocks of this aggressively ugly non-Canadian just crap, which it looks like the worst parts of America. And then you finally get to some kind of crowded boardwalk, and that's where the view is.
Is it meant to attract Rust Belt Americans to come over and gamble? Because I don't think of Canada as being full of gambling.
I don't know. Maybe you're not there to gamble. Maybe you just station grandma there and everybody else does. Because there's all this Niagara adjacent. Yeah. There's a Ferris wheel now and a zip line and you go up a tower. And I don't really know why you would do any of those things. But
remind me, I don't remember. Because we talked about Love Canal, but I don't remember from that episode either. How do you get across the river? Is there a bridge?
Yeah, and it's not that far. I don't know. I don't want to be wrong about this. I should probably look at a map. But yeah, I think you can cross the river like at the rapids, basically, not that far from the falls.
Because for sure, when you stand there and look at the river, you can't help but think, could I get across this river before I went over the falls?
Well, it's definitely part of the story of all the daredevilry that has surrounded the falls.
Because it seems like a bet, like a frat bet. Like, can you swim across the river? Because it's moving fast. But it also, I think when we were there, the water flow was low. And so it did feel almost like something you could make it across in that space, in the space where it turns the corner and it widens out. And you're like, I know that there's a hard end to this.
Yep.
But maybe if I was really strong, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a bridge right there. I was right. And there's another one maybe a mile and a half down, or I don't know, 2 miles downstream, or at least toward Lake Ontario. So that would be downstream.
But the bridge is across from the U.S. to Canada, or the bridge is across from U.S. to U.S.? How do you get to Canada?
The bridge is U.S. to Canada.
It is.
And I'm not sure how they would, I don't know, I'm not sure how customs works there. It is a traffic bridge, if I remember right.
Hey, John.
Hey, it's Manager Grant. How are you, Grant?
I'm good. How you doing?
So good. So relaxed. And
are you hot down there? It's we have this unseasonably hot June here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, today is a warm day. In fact, I was going to work in the garden, but it's too hot. Too hot.
Yeah. Well, how about sleeping? Do you ever feel super sticky in the hot early evening or even in the morning when you've been sleeping for a while?
Well, we don't have air conditioning here in the Northwest.
No.
Although that's probably going to have to change. Do you have air conditioning?
I do. I got a heat pump a couple years ago, which was unfortunately felt like a necessary thing to have nowadays.
Yeah, smart move. I do not. And so, yeah, even with the windows open, I do get hot in bed and I end up just sleeping only with a sheet, no blanket.
Well, what kind of sheets are you using over there at the bunker?
Well, interesting that you should ask, Grant. I have been fortunate enough to have Miracle Made sheets. I don't know if I've told you about Miracle Made, but they are sheets that are silver infused and temperature regulating.
Oh man, that sounds like some space age technology.
Well, it really is. Miracle Made sheets are using NASA developed technology that not only keep you warm in winter and cool in summer, but they actually prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, which is what gives you like the itchies and the rashes.
Yeah. Thank God for NASA.
Well, thank God for Miracle Made. They stay clean longer and they feel very luxurious, but without the luxury price. And actually, Grant, I would like you to experience the comfort and cleanliness of Miracle Made sheets. I'm going to give you this opportunity by saying, go to trymiracle.com. And since you're a friend, you just put /omnibus on there.
I am a friend.
And that's right. You're in on this. I'm going to give you this inside deal. You're going to get Miracle Made sheets and save over 40%. And if you use the promo code Omnibus, you'll get an extra 20% off plus a free 3-piece towel set.
That's a good deal.
It's not just a good deal. It's a great gift. It makes a marvelous 4th of July gift. It makes a great Labor Day gift. So go to trymiracle.com/omnibus, Grant. Use the code Omnibus at checkout. and you'll get a free 3-piece towel set, 20% off the normal 40% off, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's trymiracle.com/omnibus. Grant, are you familiar with Mint Mobile, the cell phone service company?
Oh, am I ever? Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Have you used Mint Mobile, or do you know people that are using their service?
I know many that are using their service, and it's been very interesting to me. I haven't made the switch yet, and I'm in a contract, but I think I might be about ready to make a switch.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but Mint Mobile plans are only $15 a month, and it's kind of natural to ask, what's the catch? Well, Grant, there isn't a catch. There are no gimmicks, no gotchas. Just unlimited talk, text, and data, fast, reliable coverage on the nation's largest 5G network, and an award-winning care team. All of that for only $15 a month.
That's quite a deal.
It really is. And you've got 2 kids. Do they have cell phones?
Only one of them has been co-opted into the world of cell phones. But soon enough, I will have 2.
Well, on behalf of the one that has a cell phone, they can bring their current phone and current number. So you don't need to buy a new phone. You don't need to change any of your deets. You choose from a 3, 6, or 12-month plan, and then goodbye to your monthly bill.
Right. Well, it would be unk to have to change your number. I think that's what the kids say. So,
oh my God, it would be so unk. So, in order to not be unk, here's how you get your new wireless plan for $15 a month. You go to mintmobile.com/omnibus. That's mintmobile.com/omnibus. I know you know to put the /omnibus on there. You'll cut your wireless bill to $15 a month. Just go to mintmobile.com/omnibus, Grant. That's it. There's no catch. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speeds slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Niagara Falls, as the kind of the quintessential beautiful America, it just blew people's minds. Like Thomas Cole went there and painted it in the 1800s because it was like the Grand Canyon or Yosemite Valley. And, his painting of it does not have any of the hotels and the factories and all the stuff that was already there in 1830. It was already a destination. His apprentice painter, Frederick Church, loved painting waterfalls. He was the guy that painted just these massive American scenes that people would just go see in a gallery 20 times because movies hadn't been invented yet. And they would just be like, I'm still looking at the jungle that Frederick Church painted. It's got a volcano. I could look at this all day. He did famous waterfall paintings, including one of Niagara. And people at the time said, this is the only guy who's ever figured out
how to really make it work.
Yeah, because otherwise people would paint waterfalls and they didn't really capture the movement and everything. And this guy had it.
But another thing we've talked about on the Omnibus is the Erie Canal, which opened in 1825. So it was already very much this was all, there was a lot of Erie action already.
Erie action at a distance.
People recognize that if you were going to get the beaver pelts or the coal or whatever out of the enormous Great Lakes Basin, you had to get around this fall somehow, right?
I guess I was saying this wrong. Like it's funny to me that it's like the Panama Canal. The Niagara Falls, the cut of the Niagara River there kind of doubles back northwest. So it's like Lake Erie's going northeast, and then the Niagara River kind of doubles back, and then you enter Lake Ontario. So you actually are going west there as you go downstream slightly, which is a little bit weird. Northwest.
That really disoriented me. Like being there, it just felt like
it's a weird isthmus that you don't think exists. Very early on, like as early as Thomas Cole and Frederick Church are painting this thing, it is also grabbing the attention of various kinds of unbalanced people. Hucksters and daredevils.
Yeah, my people.
Really? Is that right?
Hucksters and daredevils.
Is that what your business card says?
Well, I just feel like that's how my people ended up in the West, and probably how yours did too.
They just kept jumping off things?
Yeah,
and eventually they were in Alaska?
They got chased out of St. Louis is what it is. They all ended up in St. Louis because they got chased out of Boston and Chicago.
But was that because they were daredevils or were they just broke? You know, there's a lot of ways to get chased out of a city.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Running from the marshal for some reason.
Or running from the landlord. Yeah. In 1829, a man named Sam Patch starts jumping off things.
Huh.
He brands himself as the Yankee Leaper.
The Yankee Leaper?
And he appears to be the guy who kind of invented the idea that, hey, if I put up a poster and say I'm jumping off things, maybe people will come and, pay a dime or buy a pamphlet, buy a skinny pamphlet about my adventures.
I mean, I don't mean to daredevil-splain, but it seems like if you're jumping off things, you can't really scam people with
exactly.
that. You're going to have to jump. You can't be like, oops, laha, I thought
There's no trick.
I was going to jump.
Like Houdini had a series of tricks to make sure he was going to get out of that straitjacket. Sam Patch literally has to build a platform and jump off it. And he had, as you might expect of somebody called the Yankee Leaper with that business model, he had a very short career. He appears to have started jumping off things. Say
there, boy, when did you start jumping off things?
In the late 1820s and was dead within 2 years.
Oh, my God. It seems like he probably was challenged to jump off something. You have to keep one-upping things. And twice in this story, you see that he does a jump, and then he's annoyed because the crowds are small because the weather is bad, and he goes back and does the same jump. This is what happens in 1829 when a Buffalo citizens group invites him to Niagara Falls. And he's not going to jump, you can't jump over the falls, clearly, but he can build a platform on Goat Island, which is what bisects the American and Canadian Falls, Horseshoe Falls, the landmass in the middle. And he can build a platform and jump off of that 80 feet in the river. And that's what he does on October 12th. He climbs up the platform. He has to make a show of it because the other thing about being the Yankee Leaper is your show is so short. Oh, right.
The show itself, can you imagine if going on stage, John, as your band and playing a 2-second show, right. The fans would riot.
Yeah, you have to wave your hands, you have to walk over to this side, then walk over to that side.
So he gets up on the platform for 10 minutes, he's kind of striking a pose like, Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And at that point, he, it's unclear why, takes the handkerchief from his neck, ties it about his waist. How long is this handkerchief? Waves his hand, kisses an American flag that is flying from the platform.
Good man.
And steps off. A general cry of, he's dead, he's lost, swept through the crowd. And there's a long, dramatic pause, kind of the Apollo 13 radio silence moment.
Right.
Before his head bobs above the water, while handkerchiefs wave.
It's an 80-foot drop. When you see those, young guys who are jumping off of cliffs.
This is not just in videos. You can go to a beach or an overpass or Montlake Bridge and see some high schooler trying this.
But 80 feet that's an 8-story building. That's a long way to jump. How
you have to have technique. Yeah. You could die by hitting water at that. I mean, in a freak thing, people will jump off the Golden Gate Bridge and survive. You can survive higher if you hit right. But it's hard to hit right, especially around a rapids, which is where he's jumping. He swims briskly to the shore and says his catchphrase, "There's no mistake in Sam Patch."
He had to yell it.
One would, above the noise of the falls.
No mistake.
Pass it on. Also, what does that mean? Doesn't he mean there's no mistaking Sam Patch?
No, it just means that one mistake and you'd be dead, but there's no mistaking Sam Patch. In
him. Yeah. In his act, his vibe, his whole technique.
His whole thing, yeah.
I guess.
He can't lose.
And he does this again. I think maybe that's the second time because nobody came the first time. This happens again outside Rochester. He goes to Genesee Falls. He's now enormously popular as the Yankee Leaper who jumped Niagara.
When you say he jumped Niagara, then you were kind of equivocating about whether it was this falls, that falls. Did he actually jump what we call Niagara Falls?
He jumped from Goat Island into the rapids, I guess, above the falls, right?
And then swam to the shore.
And then swam to shore, yeah. For the first, you will see that for the first nearly century of Niagara daredevilry, everybody says they're going to do something at Niagara, and everybody leaves Horseshoe Falls alone.
Really?
Because the waterfall, it turns out, is the scary part of the waterfall.
Yes.
Like what you want to do is to go there and dick around in the rapids and the whirlpool.
Yes.
And not actually go over the falls.
They're like, here we go to the falls.
I am at the falls.
Yeah.
At Genesee Falls, sadly, Sam Patch put up a poster that says his catchphrase, but also says, confusingly, some things can be done as well as others, which appears to be another part of his brand.
What does that mean?
He gives a speech about Napoleon. He does the jump once and doesn't get a big audience because of the weather, so he does it again the next day. This is going to be, I don't know, 130 feet. This one's higher outside.
That's a lot.
And it is kind of a puzzling act he does with his weird catchphrases like, some things can be done as well as others.
Is that a way of saying, like,
if you put your mind to it?
It's like, it's as easy as baking a cake. It's as easy as falling off a log.
You can, it seems hard, but if you can do something else. Some people claim he's drunk. He gives a rambling speech about Napoleon. But Wellington is greater, and in this case, I'm Wellington.
Bonaparte.
The falls are Bonaparte. And he jumps, but possibly because of drink, his technique is bad. He lands weird.
Uh-oh.
And it's immediately clear that this has not gone well. And sure enough, he doesn't reappear. Immediately, word starts to travel in the crowd that he has hidden in a secret cavern and is changing into dry clothes to make an amazing reappearance.
I would think that people...
That's not what I would think if I saw somebody fall 100 feet into a river.
I would think at that point in time when people were much more accustomed to just seeing blood and guts everywhere, just on the streets of New York, that they would have been like, oh, he died.
Another dead body in the river.
But instead it became a myth.
And it lasted for, I think, years. Because the next spring, when the ice thawed, his body was actually found. So Sam Patch is now buried nearby under a platform that says, here lies Sam Patch.
Some things are harder than others.
It turns out, no, it's even better. Such is fate.
Such is fate. It doesn't seem like fate.
It doesn't seem like fate. The guy chose to jump 100 feet into a waterfall, and he did it until he died. Hey, what are you going to do?
He was fated to go.
There's something American about that, though. Yankee Leaper.
The Yankee Leaper.
I'm just going to do dumb things in dumber and dumber ways until it catches up with me. But until then... no comeuppance.
At first, I thought, wow, it'd be great to like get a vintage leather jacket embroidered with the Yankee Leaper across the back. But it's one of those things, kind of like writing an email in the middle of the night. All I had to do was just not do it for 10 minutes.
And then you won't regret it.
And then I was like, that's not a good idea at all, the Yankee Leaper.
What does it sound like? It sounds like a weird wrestling gimmick, maybe?
Or some kind of...
cryptid?
I keep.
I was outside Brattleboro, Vermont, and I think I saw the Yankee Leaper.
No, for whatever reason, it seems to me to be like somebody in a leotard who is like peeping, like a peeper.
He's a creep.
The Yankee peeper.
The Yankee creeper. After we're moving into the age of P.T. Barnum and Harry Houdini, big names putting together big shows. So this is now a way that people know they can make money. Although Sam Patch really never made a penny and died young. So Niagara becomes the nexus of a lot of this stuff. In 1861, they're already organizing boat tours. You already do the Maid of the Mist tour that takes you down to the base of the falls.
Yeah, and you get that
you get the windbreaker
moment.
We saw people doing it and did not do it. I think we would have had to get there earlier in the day and buy tickets, and we were like, those people look wet. But it's a popular thing to do at Niagara then as now. And and this was true, like there were boat tours like in the mid-19th century. In 1861, they replaced the Maid of the Mist with the Maid of the Mist 2, and they were going to get rid of the old boat. They found a Canadian scrapyard to take it. But the problem was they would have to get the boat, I guess, from where it was through the rapids to it must be the rapids upstream of the falls.
When did they build the locks?
To its new home. Are there locks?
Well, they have to be able to get boats
around.
The St. Lawrence locks includes 15 locks, 13 of which are in Canada, and they raise and lower the ships 246 feet.
And that is between Erie and Ontario, Lake Erie and Lake Ontario.
Yeah, it starts in Montreal and it goes up to Lake Ontario.
Because if you're trying to get your ship down Niagara Falls, you will get to the bottom of the falls, but getting up.
Well, but also if you're transporting like wheat. I don't think you want to go over the falls. I think you want to go down gently.
You don't want to go over the falls no matter whether you're carrying wheat or not, John. Which cargoes do you think are, like if you're carrying feathers or pillows? Is that what you have in mind?
If you're calling inner tubes.
Our full cargo of marshmallows is perfect to try this out. So they had to get the ship through they had to get this boat through the rapids. And so Joel Robinson is the daredevil captain, not the Mystery Science Theater character, but a ship captain of the same name, successfully navigates through the rapids and around the whirlpool. The ship loses a smokestack. An eager audience watches this happen. Robinson retires immediately and never wants to be in a boat again.
Oh, wow.
That's how much of a nightmare it is. So even getting a boat through there is trouble. In 1873, Henry Bellini becomes the first person to do the tightrope thing. So walking over the falls on a tightrope.
That was already a thing. I guess tightrope walking is probably a really old thing.
It's probably French people in 1700 are inventing tightrope.
And they're also in leotards. They're probably also leapers and creepers.
The leotard, is your position that everybody in a leotard is some kind of sex pervert?
I mean, now that as long as they have a curly mustache, if you're in a leotard and have a curly mustache, you're either a weightlifter or a creeper.
My guess is you're saying that about men. That women in leotards, you're probably all for. The Jane Fonda workout we all believe in. And then in 1886, we meet an English cooper named Carlisle Graham, an English-born cooper who had come to this country. A cooper, of course, is a maker of barrels, valuable in many industries then. You know, if you are interested in beer or herring or a very brown, wrinkly apple out of season.
We've talked about the importance of barrels.
Which omnibus had the most barrel content? I don't remember. It was
the one about ice, right?
Oh, right.
Right? Weren't we talking about ice and...
Did we never do one about polkas?
I feel like, to roll out a barrel.
I don't know when else barrels would have come up on the show.
I don't think we ever did. No, but I do feel like there was some hot barrel content.
Carlisle Graham, because of his... And if you look at a picture of him, by the way, I can't... Well, if I turn my screen, it'll go onto you. But he's exactly the creepy leotard guy with the waxed mustache, leotard. Receding hairline, a singlet, or is it a doublet? What's the difference between a singlet and a doublet? I don't even know.
Isn't a doublet something?
It's like that seems Shakespearean.
Wears
seems like it seems
some kind of armor.
Elizabethan to wear a doublet. Hamlet wears a doublet. Andre the Giant wears a singlet. I don't know.
Let's go with that.
I still don't. Yeah,
well, let's enter that into the omnibus.
That's the main difference.
That is the new definition.
And it leaves unanswered the question of what you wear if you were neither Hamlet nor Andre the Giant.
A nonlet. An unlet.
Carlisle Graham feels like a barrel is the safe way to do Niagara Falls stunts.
Let me just chew on that for a second. Was there nothing at the time? Is it just
because he's a cooper?
That's it.
If he was literally in any other job, he would be like, a barrel's a terrible idea.
Can't be a coincidence.
Well, I mean, it is the thing you would seal tightly. And wouldn't they use, am I just thinking of this from The Hobbit, that they would often ship things downriver in barrels?
Put it in a barrel and just float it down the river, and then it pops up on the
So a barrel is canonically the thing that can survive a long river journey.
It also feels like if you believed that the right way to do it is pack yourself into a thing so you don't bounce around.
Yes.
A barrel is about the size of a capsule that a person would fit in if you filled it with wheat.
Before I wasn't on his Wikipedia page, but now I am. And it has the sentence, and by the way, we do not do the show from Wikipedia, but I wanted a picture of him with the barrel, and so that's where I went. And it has this sentence: although he was a baseball player, he yearned for the sea.
Wow. Just like our children yearn for the mines.
Is that really a reasonable use of the word although?
Although he was a baseball player. Well, you have a choice.
It implies that no other baseball player has ever yearned for the sea.
Or that there are two choices for a man.
That's right. Which way, modern man? Is it the miners? Or is it the sea?
Yearns for the sea is also a great phrase. Like,
he yearned for the sea. He looks like Sean Connery, but his receding hairline means he looks like Sean Connery, like with a rug. Like he looks like Sean Connery in Never Say Never Again.
Where his toupee has kind of slid back on his head because the adhesive was too hot.
So he designs a kind of a tapered barrel of his own devising, and the idea is he's just going to get into the rapids and see if he can come ashore.
You know what this feels like? It feels like somebody that's a musician, but also a computer programmer. So they design a computer program or an internet device to promote their music. And you're like, wow, what a great musician. But it's like, actually, it's just because he was a computer programmer that his music ended up in your lap. Here's the Cooper that has the power to build the super coupe.
Of course,
There's probably dozens of other people that could have made it over the falls just as easily.
Maybe he didn't yearn for the sea. Maybe he yearned to see what the potential of the humble barrel was.
I wonder if every barrel he made, his thought was, what if I climbed in there? How would that barrel feel from the inside?
People become Coopers because they're like agoraphobes. I just want to be in there with those pickles.
If I could just be in the barrel.
Well, in this case, he climbed into the barrel and used it to ride the rapids below the falls.
Again, below the falls.
That's safe because you don't have to get pulled out. I mean, you do, but nothing happens if you don't. You just go see more of Canada than you wanted.
So he did like the mist boat. He went up to the base of the falls, jumped in the barrel.
Because that's where the big whirlpool is. So it really is like, this is the scary part. I mean, going over the falls would be the scary part, but no one's considered that yet. He gets into this tapered red barrel that the New York Times compares to an enormous carrot. He's got canvas suspenders, so he's strapped into it. He's not just bouncing around like Gus Grissom. He's strapped to it's like a jetpack that's a barrel.
Is this where we get the poor person is in a barrel with the suspenders image?
I think that's self-evident. If you didn't have clothes, what would you wear? Duh.
Why did I've never revisited that, but that truly was an image in all of our lives.
I think it comes from a time when barrels are ever present. If every store and tavern does have a few barrels outside, you're going to be like, well, what would I wear if I didn't have clothes? Probably that thing.
A barrel instead of a sack. Because there were also sacks.
There were also
everywhere.
burlap sacks.
You could just cut leg holes in a sack and you're off to the races.
A barrel, it bows at the side in a way that the human being does not. It's for the portly nudist.
Also, I just said cut leg holes in a sack, imagining that you would pull it up. But no, you would cut a neck hole in the sack and put it down. For a brief moment there, I didn't understand how a sack worked.
It just depends on where you want the neck of the sack to be. It should be a skirt.
Yeah, it should be. Well, it's a sack dress.
That's right. Yeah, people wearing those sack dresses. So yeah, in September 1889, he stumbles into the saloon and says,
"By Jove,
I've done it." He is later challenged. His account is later challenged as false, but no, he repeats it several more times.
This time with people watching.
I believe this. Yes.
It does seem like a weird thing to do when no one was watching.
The second time, well, if you don't know if you're going to make it, he's embarrassed.
Oh,
like this could be
so. Test run.
This guy loves barrels. He's worried about the reputation of the barrel. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to denigrate the barrel on his watch.
Does this feel like he's advertising his barrel company?
I think at this point he's out of the barrel business and baseball. He's in neither Hall of Fame.
Yearning for the sea.
Yeah, now he's just yearning. And the closest you can get in Buffalo, New York, is to go to the Niagara River. He tries to do it again with his head out. He thinks that's the next level of stunt. And he does it again with an audience with his head out and survives, but in the event loses his hearing, it turns out.
Oh.
And I don't think that could just be the noise of the falls.
Is it a thing where the barrel immediately flipped over and then his head was underwater?
Yeah, I wonder if a lot of water got in his ears.
He lost his hearing.
That must just be eardrum damage due to being a dope. He does this 4 times and announces that his great plan is that he's going to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel.
The actual
over
falls.
Horseshoe Falls. Yeah, the big one. The one that America has and Canada enjoys. No, wait, it's the other way around.
No, America has it. Canada enjoys it.
Now, doesn't America have American Falls and Canada has Horseshoe Falls?
Boy, you're the Niagara Falls expert.
For whatever reason, he's going over Horseshoe Falls, which I believe is the Canadian side. And he never does it. He announces he's going to go over the falls in a barrel, who more qualified than him. He never does. He does lend his barrel to Martha Wagenführer, who becomes the first woman to go through Niagara Rapids in a barrel. Also, Wagenführer?
Wagenführer. That seems like a combination of...
Is that just Wagon Master in German? Yeah. Like, they don't go to Wagon Master for a burger, they go to Der Wagenführer?
Der Wagenführer.
What does Führer mean? Der Führer.
Leader.
Is that right? Wagon leader? So is it Wagon Master? I feel like I should know what Führer means. Yeah, leader or guide. Well done.
Thank you.
So it is. So yeah, the wagon master. Yeah, okay.
Wagon master, wagon leader.
But still, if your name's Wagenführer, it's probably a good thing she's famous in 1901 instead of 1951. She becomes the first woman to do it. It then gets passed along to a friend of hers, Maud Willard, who is going to try this as well. We're seeing a boom of, in the suffragist era.
But still, no man has gone over the falls, the actual falls, but the first two to really propose it are women?
Well, the guy who, Carlisle Graham is a man, and he's the first to propose it.
Oh.
These two women are just doing what he did, but,
I see.
In the era of we're simply soldiers in petticoats, like they're proudly drawing a crowd by being a lady in a barrel.
Anything a man can do, a woman can do better.
Some things can be done as easily as others by ladies too, as Sam Patch would have said if you were a better ally.
Blurb, blurb, blurb.
A woman named Maud Willard tries it. Unfortunately, she makes the mistake of bringing her fox terrier.
In the barrel?
In the barrel as she goes through the rapids and waterfall.
Isn't your toothless dog a fox terrier?
No, I'm afraid not. He's
some kind of terrier.
Spaniel mix. No, not a terrier of any kind. When I was a kid, we had two awful little terriers. And as a result, I'm never going to have a terrier.
Spaniel mix, really? Doesn't it kind of look like a terrier? I not know what a terrier is?
Well, it's a Spaniel poodle mix, and they're both small. And so it does kind of look like, it doesn't not look like a Yorkie.
Yeah.
It looks more like a Maltese or a Havanese, which are not terriers.
I don't know what those dogs are.
It's a yappy little dog, which, conveys terrier. She brings her fox terrier in the barrel, and this turns out to be a mistake, but not for the reason you think. I know a lot of people would tune out here if the dog died.
But the dog eats her.
The dog devours her before they pull her out. Yeah, she should have fed it. No, she has it's weirder than that. She has air holes in the barrel. She brings her fox terrier, and in its panic and desire to breathe, it sticks its head in the air hole and survives, but it takes them a long time to get her out of the river just because of the vagaries of the whirlpool and how it's eddying that day. And by the time they pull her out, she has suffocated and the fox terrier is alive.
Whoa.
So if you're somebody who would nope out of the story because the dog died, hey, guess what? Hypocrites, a suffragette just died.
The dog survived.
How do you feel about that?
It was her fur baby.
Her fur baby made it, but her fur baby killed her by blocking the air hole in the barrel.
Exactly what I would expect. What is the chance, do you think, if your dog had to decide between you dying and it dying, which way would the dog go?
Oh, that wouldn't even be close.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe our dogs are smart enough to have any conception of
selflessness.
Yeah, or even our existence, object permanence.
I see.
Like, I don't think they know that we are as separate entities, really.
I see.
So, yeah, our dogs would not bat an eyelash or lift a paw.
Yeah. Your other dog seems to think that I am just a petting hand.
Oh, yeah.
Connected to somebody that might have food.
Hey, John, I've seen you have a different look to you lately.
How would you describe that look?
Well, for one thing, you don't have a beard anymore.
I don't have the beard. That's right. I shaved it off, and I think it's very unsettling. It's off-brand, but it's summer, and I'm just going for it.
As your manager, I'm very, very concerned about brand. That's the thing that I'm always thinking about. So we have to have a meeting about that. But what are you thinking about when you take your beard off? Mm-hmm. When you're looking in the mirror, mm-hmm. Are you thinking more about the hair on top of your head? Are you thinking about how it's growing and what it's looking like lately?
Well, it's all I've got left, and and interestingly, when I have my gray beard, my hair looks gray, but when I shave the beard off, all of a sudden my hair looks blonde.
Oh, well, what are you thinking about? Also, the thick and lushness of your hair of late.
Well, of course, anybody my age is going to tell you that as thick and luxurious as my hair may appear from a distance, from inside my heart, I feel like my hair is starting to thin a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, did you know that Hims, one of our wonderful partners here, they offer convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays?
So a guy like me who isn't visibly losing his hair, but is definitely losing his hair, this stuff will work for me?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's got doctor and trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil, and they can stop further hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months.
Boy, that would be kind of a great relief, especially now without my trademark beard. Like if my hair starts to be thin, if you can start seeing that my hair is thinner from behind when those stage lights are shining on me, that's gonna affect my self-esteem. Well, so what do I do?
Well, you can find the right hair regrowth treatment for you with flexible subscription options and access to 24/7 provider supports and once-a-day treatments through hims.com.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
Well, for simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, weight loss, and more, you should visit hims.com/omnibus. That's right, hims.com/omnibus for your free online visit.
So Hims, HIMS.com/omnibus?
That's right, John. hims.com/omnibus.
Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Hey, it's Grant the manager. Hi, Grant.
Hey, John.
Nice to have you show up on the show.
I'm always happy to be on.
I know this is kind of personal, and I know that you're a Scandinavian, and although we've known each other a long time, have you ever gone to a counselor?
Oh, yeah, totally. And my wife is a therapist, so I have lots of therapy knowledge. That's right.
And am I right from the standpoint of your wife, the therapist, Grant the manager, and his wife, the therapist, getting connected to a therapist it just seems like, for me, an overwhelmingly complicated process.
Oh, boy, it is. I can tell you from firsthand experience that it is both very difficult to find somebody who's available and meet your schedule and meet your time frame. So, yeah, I understand how hard it is. And
then there's the insurance component.
Yep.
I've had I've connected with therapists before where they're like, look, your insurance isn't going to be relevant here. You should just pay out of pocket every week for our visits, which is inhibiting, to say the least. But I've been fortunate enough to find a new option, which is Rula.
Rula, interesting.
Yeah, finding a therapist is so hard, and Rula does things differently. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, including my janky insurance plan, which all of a sudden doesn't feel so janky. They make the average copay just $15 per session for real therapy with licensed professionals at a price that makes sense. So I use my insurance benefits, and it helps maintain my physical health and my mental health.
Yeah, that's great. Great to know there are options out there because, man, it is hard.
Yeah, well, other online therapy platforms sort of match you with the first available provider, but Rula considers my goals, my preferences, and my background, and that enables them to provide me with a more curated list of licensed in-network therapists who are aligned with what I need, Grant. And that my counseling needs are many and diverse.
Yeah, they are.
So in order to find the right therapist for you, Rula partners with a network of over 15,000 therapists and psychiatrists nationwide. It's true end-to-end care. Rula supports you and stays with you every step of the way on your mental health journey, from finding the right therapist to helping you schedule appointments and monitor your progress. And what you do, and this is key, I feel like a lot of us with psychological issues have trouble just taking that initial leap. It often is much easier to just be stoic and sit in a dark room.
Like Scandinavians.
Yeah, that's right. You Scandinavians. And that's not what I recommend to people. I recommend to people that they visit Rula, RULA.com/omnibus to get started. RULA.com/omnibus to get healthcare and a mental health that works with you and not against your budget. Rula.com/omnibus.
In 1901, all eyes are on Buffalo, New York, because of the Great Pan American Exposition.
Oh.
Most remembered today for not being survived by William McKinley. It turns out that was the expo not to go to if, in fact, you were
William
President William McKinley.
Uh-huh.
You will make it out, but not for long. And then, Buffalo is kind of the center of the universe. And this is a big deal to a woman named Anna Edson Taylor, then living on Saginaw Bay, Michigan, who says, the idea came to me in a flash of light, reading all the media content about Buffalo, a thing that does not happen anymore. The idea came to me in a flash of light. Go over Niagara Falls in a barrel. So she wants to do the thing that Carlyle only talked about. So she leaves her home in Bay City, Michigan, for some buffalo grass.
It is amazing to think that these days, you never hear about any of these places, where in those days, it was all you heard about. Now
the Bay City Rollers were the last people to notice Bay City, Michigan on a map. No one since then has tried.
Everybody is always talking about Houston and Phoenix and Santa Barbara.
They all want to be places that are going to be 130 degrees in a decade.
And Bay City, Michigan, just sitting up there with 130% humidity.
It is humid, but it's a little bit climate change proof. Maybe you want to be a little far back from the bay, maybe, but.
Well, it's the warm part of climate change proof, but they also, aren't they getting like super blizzards now?
Yeah, that's probably true. But that's what you like. You're like,
I do.
In the summer, I'm going to be so glad on a warming earth that it was cold today. Annie Edson Taylor was not a Bay City native. She was born in the Finger Lakes region to her father, a miller, a farming and milling family. And she grew up, according to her own memoir, which she later wrote, as kind of an adventurous tomboy. No dolls for her. She was always getting into scrapes.
In and out of barrels.
Today, we're going to assume she was
gay-coded.
A queer icon, a non-binary icon of some kind. But at the time, she was just an adventurous lady who had a suspiciously brief marriage to her brother's friend. Because that's what happened. The great mistake of her young life is marrying her brother's friend, David Taylor. He shortly thereafter dies. I don't think there's any suspicion that he killed her, but, I wouldn't rule it out.
Oh, that she killed him.
Sorry, she killed him. Yeah, if he killed her, this would make the rest of the story difficult.
Somebody on Discord the other day said that I use coded too much now, which is 100% a thing that I picked up from you.
You think it's my fault?
Yeah. This coded, that coded.
You're coded maxing?
I didn't.
John's coded mogged.
I never would have said those things, but I think you said it enough. You said it one time maybe, and I was like, if Ken says it, I can say it.
My prediction is that I can take the most baby boomer coded person I know, John Roderick, and by talking like a Gen Z around him, I can drag you down to Gen X millennial vibes in the meet in the middle.
My daughter in her phone has my name as Looks Maxing Gigadad.
I'm sure you're.
How do you like that?
I'm sure you're super happy.
How do you like that?
Because you have been Looks Maxing.
I'm Looks Maxing.
You lost a lot of weight. You're mewing. The whole time we do this show, you're making your jaw do weird things.
You walked in, and this is the first time you'd seen me without a beard. Not ever. Ever? Maybe ever.
Not counting like pictures of you from high school.
And you had that reaction of like, ugh.
Like I just turned over a rock.
I don't know.
Saw a bunch of potato bugs that I always knew they were there, but I didn't want to see them wiggling around.
And I think you even said, grow the beard back.
I did say grow the beard back. Is that okay?
I don't know.
Well,
depends.
We always talk about that awesome girl that told Lincoln to grow the beard.
Right.
So she's some kind of American hero. Why can't I be an American hero?
What if I go 10 years and never grow the beard back and this is just my new look? Your words ring out.
The thing is, your 5 o'clock shadow is there at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like you have a beard now, even though it just means you didn't shave this morning.
I have a beard-shaped face.
A beard-shaped face?
Yeah. Doesn't my face look like I have a beard?
It looks like you still have a beard.
Yeah.
It does seem like there's more chin than there should be.
More chin than there should be.
But not more chins, plural. Just there's a vast expanse.
Which is a sign of masculineness.
Exactly.
Like the Chad person also has arguably too much chin, but he's a Chad.
Do you not want to be a Chad?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Aren't I a Chad? You're saying too much chin, but isn't it like Chad chin?
I think it's just more chin than I'm used to.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was saying. I don't know if I'm a good judge of this because I only knew you with the beard. Maybe I'm just like, well, I don't like change.
No, it's true.
Just like all your whiny listeners.
Nobody likes it.
Nobody likes change. After David Taylor dies, Anna Edson Taylor lives an exciting traveling life. She survives a fire in Chattanooga. There's an earthquake while she's living in South Carolina. She gets stagecoach robbed somewhere in Texas.
So she's like a disaster jinx.
Yeah, you don't want to hang out with her.
Yeah.
Like, are there earthquakes in South Carolina? As I said this, I was like, this story seems made up. When's the last time there was a big earthquake in South Carolina?
I was trying to think of how an earthquake would happen.
She's such a jinx. She's creating impossible seismic events.
We're going to get letters from South Carolinians
telling us all about
there
them.
are earthquakes all the time.
But we don't care. In 1898, she's living in Bay City, Michigan, where she has opened a charm school for the girls of the local gentry.
Wow, that's not what I expected.
You didn't think she was charming just because of all the stagecoach robberies?
Well,
she talked her way out of those.
But I think of charms. I was already picturing her in like rolled up dungarees with like hair she cut herself.
By this time, she's 60 and she's dowager, graying dowager type in a crazy hat.
But is she one of these like charm school? And then she gets the girls in there and she's like, here's how you make pewter.
Is that a type of charm school? Pewter coated. At her charm school, I think the kids are just learning to dance and eat salad with the right fork. But the problem is her kids keep graduating. The charm school scene in Bay City, as you would imagine, is declining. Probably it's at an all-time low today. I don't know how many Bay City charm school listeners we have.
Right. Pretty sure everyone in Bay City is wearing a sports jersey now.
It would be a good Bay City Rollers cover band, right? The Bay City Charm School. So when she reads about the Pan American Exposition and she decides to head to Buffalo, she is a woman with a dream, even though she is a stout and graying woman, in the words of the media coverage. That's not me. Sorry, ladies. In her early 60s. Mm-hmm. Now, when asked about it, she lies and says she's 42. She literally takes 20 years off her age. And looking at pictures, I'm not sure how plausible that is.
But 42 used to be the average lifespan of an American.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe everybody looked the same after they were 38, so you could say you were whatever age. Like Carlisle Graham before her, she designs her own barrel. She works up diagrams. She supervises the local distillery, I think, that builds her keg. She knows exactly how wide she wants the planks to be. She has ideas about the staves, how many metal rings there should be. She has it tapered at both ends because she thinks that'll make it bob better. You want it to be upright.
So she's a cooper.
An amateur cooper.
Amateur cooper.
She's cooper coated. She's cooper mogging.
She's a lay cooper.
A lay cooper, exactly. You could be an amateur cooper back then, I think.
It feels like if you're going to taper the barrel at both ends, you would weight one end with pewter.
That is correct. I don't know if it's pewter, but she brings an anvil.
An anvil?
She already knows she's a cartoon character because she's down with barrels. And she's like, you know what else should be in there? So an anvil is implanted at one taper, at one end of the barrel to make that the bottom.
Is there a wooden crate of Acme explosives?
She has a lot of earthquake pills left over from her time in South Carolina, but you don't want to eat those. You want to feed them to the Roadrunner.
That's right.
And she has pillows inside. She's no dummy.
That's smart. That's what I would do.
So on a late October afternoon, she crawls courageously into this white oak, sweet potato-shaped barrel with an anvil at one end, and puts herself in above the falls, something no one has ever done.
She puts herself in. She doesn't have a team of...
She does have a team, and there's people waiting at the bottom. This is...
I would hope.
This is very exciting. In
a rowboat, hopefully.
An unemployed 60-year-old woman is about to go over Niagara Falls in a weird-shaped barrel.
Right. There are a few people interested.
This will bring out the crowds. Yeah. She falls nearly 160 feet.
Good Lord.
With not just whirlpool and rapids below, but, all the rocks and danger that implies. She later says, spoilers, that she feels suffocated. Right. Everything was fine as she bobbed along. Then she neared the falls and felt a pause, like when you're about to go. Because at the time, you and I know the feeling of going over the top of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
People back then probably didn't.
Right, where you're like, oh.
But she feels the pause, and then suddenly that stomach floating moment. And
wow.
She describes it as an awful plunge. Boatmen pull her, the water starts to pour into it, and she starts to worry that she's going to survive the fall, but not the aftermath. But boatmen pull her out. She's bruised. She's seasick. She has a cut on her head.
But she makes the jump.
She's clutching a sodden pillow, and the person who pulls her out is none other. One of the people waiting for her in the boat is none other than Carlisle Graham.
Wow.
Who had thought up this whole line of work 15 years before, and he's the one who announces to an awestruck crowd, "She's alive!" And
it's alive.
Sure enough, she is.
You know, the first parachute, like modern parachute jump, wasn't until 1919.
She did this before anybody had jumped out of even a hot air balloon.
So even, I mean, I think that there were like some old ye olde times jumping out of things, but
there probably were roller coaster like things, don't you think?
Yeah,
Alpine slide like coasters.
I guess the Alpine slide. But when
I only know this from the Great Brain book, where they build one in their garage. Switchback Railway opened at Coney Island in 1884.
Okay.
So some of these people could have been over a roller coaster,
Yeah.
but none of those roller coasters had jagged rocks at the bottom.
So her only account is she freaked out as she went over, and then water was pouring in. But the impact didn't like.
Apparently, she was fine.
Whoa!
What we now know is that is a bit of a fluke, because other people were like, "Oh, easy! You just had to build a barrel." Many other people have tried going over the falls.
She didn't copyright the barrel.
She didn't patent the barrel. She did not give it to a woman with a fox terrier, luckily. We know of 15 people who have gone over Niagara Falls. 10 have survived. I don't believe most of them were in barrels, because a lot of people are like, I want to be the first to go over on a jet ski. I want to be the first to go over on a kayak.
A jet ski?
Yes, people have jet skied and kayaked over Niagara Falls.
That seems fully moronic.
2 other people have survived in a barrel, that I could find, 1911. Bobby Leach did it, but unlike Anna, he wound up in a hospital with 2 broken kneecaps and a fractured jaw.
Not enough pillows.
Exactly. Better pillow game. In 1984, a Czech daredevil named Karl Suchek
that seems weird.
Survived.
That'd be like if your name was Ken Jennings America.
Oh, because his name's Czech. Yeah, it's like Peter Magyar.
Yeah, that's right. There it is.
Exactly. Maybe everybody in Central Europe is just named for their country, and we didn't know. And those 2 survived, but a lot of other people have died. And basically, if you average the number of people going over Niagara Falls, it is somewhere between 10 and 30 a year. And they're not all daredevils. Unfortunately, trigger warning, it's a common suicide site.
Oh.
So collecting bodies at the bottom of the falls is a year-round pursuit, unfortunately. We at the Omnibus are against throwing yourself over Niagara Falls.
Generally.
It's also against the law now. In 1951, someone died, and hard enough that Canada decided to impose a fine.
They died hard?
They died badly enough that finally, after many other deaths, a fine was imposed. And America quickly followed suit. Since 1951, it's been illegal to go over Niagara Falls in anything, barrel or otherwise. The fine started out hefty and is now, I think, over $25,000 Canadian.
Jiminy Christmas, that's almost 1,500 American.
But it does mean that every person, Czech or otherwise, who has done it in the decades since then has probably had to pay a hefty fine.
Except for the ones that died.
That's true. There's one way to get out of that fine. But maybe your next of kin have to pay it. I don't know. As a disincentive.
Well, let me just... you may be about to get to this, but it seems, given how few people have survived, A,
right,
B, even gone over in a barrel.
And no other woman has ever done it alone, and nobody older than Anna Edson Taylor. The very first person who did it was a 62-year-old woman, and it seems to be extraordinarily hard for people out of that demographic.
Even now, at least what I would say is an even percentage of 62-year-old women have a hard time even getting to the store and back. I mean, there are some 95-year-old women that are skateboarding.
Well, I'm a 52-year-old man that doesn't like doing squats, you know, so...
But why, then, is going over the Niagara Falls in a barrel such a iconic image that seems to occur
Yeah.
in Thomas Nast drawings, or Garfield probably did it.
It was something I knew as a kid, that
Yeah.
this was the thing that Niagara Falls was for honeymoons and people going over in a barrel. And I believe the first time I heard it, I was like, well, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why would one get into a barrel for anything, much less to go over is there something about barrels? I mean, what is the trick there? There's no,
Anything-
Evel Knievel has to steer on his ramp at
That's
least.
I mean, we
a guy
loved
in a
Evel Knievel.
Oh, for sure. But a guy in a barrel or a lady barrel rider, like it just seems like you're leaving yourself up to the gods of the falls.
I mean, a waterfall is, I'm not going to say irresistible, but it definitely, being on top of a waterfall is a common fear, right? Like, oh no, I'm about to go over the waterfall.
In cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Somebody will successfully be navigating a river, but look out, Mr. Magoo.
Here it comes.
Or Quick Draw McGraw.
And I wonder how many times, like the first navigation of the Grand Canyon was what, Davy Crockett or something like that? And they made it through
It wasn't Davy Crockett, but yes.
they made it through the waterfall, and it was like the first and only time that had ever happened. And
Is that true? Like they didn't portage something they should have portaged?
yeah, I think a lot of people died doing that, but the waterfall, it feels like Niagara Falls I thought you were going to say 180 people have done it and 150 survived.
That's what I thought too. It's an iconic thing, mostly because one person did it successfully and then became a major star. The fact that,
Did she?
yeah, the story was irresistible. The fact that she was like a woman who had tried it, that she was older, that no one else had ever even tried it, and then she was successful the first time.
But 100 people didn't immediately line up and try and go over the falls.
I don't believe so. Not in a barrel. Like many people died, but like it's a few dozen, not a thing that. Like I think as a kid, I thought there was infrastructure at Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
For this monthly barrel fall.
Yeah, right. Like a barrel jump.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you want to get there in August when the barrels are flowing.
$5. You put up $5, get in a barrel.
Oh, honey, the barrels are running. The press called Anna Edson Taylor the goddess of water. Poetry was written about her. The great heroine of our nation has won both fortune and fame. Now people all over creation will praise this illustrious dame. Multiple odes were written to her bravery. The problem was it's not a sustainable career path. As difficult as it may seem to be a Saginaw Bay charm school governess, it's harder to keep it going when your only success is going over a waterfall in a barrel once.
It does feel like, though, she could have taken her barrel and gone around the country and gone over local waterfalls.
Other smaller waterfalls?
All of them easier to go over than Niagara Falls.
Maybe she was, I think, so she tried many things later in life. She sunk into poverty. It was the behind
Is
the music.
that trying something?
Well,
She tried many things. She tried sinking into poverty.
didn't work. I mean, it actually worked perfectly. No, many of her endeavors, I think she tried clairvoyance, which was popular at the time, faddish kind of magneto-electrical whatever. She was often found around Niagara Falls promoting some get-rich-quick scheme because you could put her face next to the falls and people would know immediately, oh, it's Barrel Lady. Unfortunately, she had the behind-the-music thing where unscrupulous managers stole all her money.
There it is again.
You're in the music industry, but you...
Surrounded by unscrupulous managers.
Except you just kept all your money and watched people just lose theirs by carelessness.
Unscrupulous managers lined up to unscrupulously manage me. And
you were like, nope.
Turn them all down. But
I
now,
can make bad financial choices myself.
Now Grant, the manager, is over here all the time managing me.
And you feel like he's crooked or not?
No, he's crooked as a $3 bill, but he's doing a pretty good job of keeping Omnibus rolling.
Nice.
Yeah.
The show keeps going.
Because
you don't see a penny.
No, that's right. He's skimming it all off the top.
You're wearing a barrel right now. Mm-hmm. See, this joke doesn't work anymore now that we have the video feed. So this is absolutely 100% true. Not only did they take her money, they took her barrel.
The managers?
Yeah, she wound up she got conned out of her own barrel.
And then did they put the barrel on display? 5 cents, see the barrel?
That's what I'm imagining. It's in a freak show or a carnival show or something.
Oh, does the barrel still exist?
I don't think now, but for I'm sure for a long time. Do you think her barrel still exists?
It belongs on a tripod somewhere.
She died in 1921 and was buried near Niagara Falls. And always the show woman, she arranged to be buried near Carlisle Graham, the original Niagara Falls barrel guy who had died decades before. But no matter how, are you going to have answers about where her barrel wound up?
Let's see. Well, it was padded with a mattress, according to
AI Overview?
AI. Yeah. AI's got the story.
You can always skip through AI Overview.
Well, no, because now I see a picture of it. She really does look like a widow.
Well, yeah, she's like the mayor's wife in The Music Man or something.
But it actually has Annie Edson Taylor like stenciled on the side. It does feel like it probably didn't end up full of grain.
There is a replica of her barrel at the Daredevil Barrel Museum beneath that weird observation tower they built on the Ontario side.
The old Daredevil Museum.
But not only did her manager steal the barrel, he did not take good care of it.
Lame.
And so she would have actually been nude if she had lost all her clothes because they took her barrel. Later in life, no matter how bad things got, occasionally she would get asked to your point, she would get asked if she would go over Niagara Falls in a barrel again.
Oh, another time, last time.
Or, or I'm sure she had promoters trying to get her to do it again. And her answer was always the same. I would rather be shot by a cannon. She had such a bad time. This was the worst thing you could think of in 1902 would be to be shot by a cannon.
Still pretty bad.
Yeah, it's like top 10 for sure, but it's not the worst.
No, maybe not.
What would you say today? Like eaten by spiders or something?
Buried alive is always the worst thing that could happen.
There you go, buried alive. But back then they didn't have that. They just had shot with a cannon. Yeah.
No, wait. They definitely had being buried alive.
Cannons were invented before dirt. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, so she always said she would it was that bad. She was still traumatized.
Wow.
And would never do it again.
Because it feels like it lasts less than a minute. The whole thing. You get in the thing. It's very exciting at the top. Nothing bad has happened yet.
But that's scary. That's like being strapped to a Saturn rocket. Like,
I guess that's
right. What the astronauts always said. That was the worst thing.
But even so, 5 minutes tops. Yeah. But I guess there are plenty of things in the world where it's 5 minutes of horror and you'd never want to go back.
I think maybe just the knowledge that she would also have lived long enough to see many other people die doing it.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if is she like a sociopath? Is she like, I'm uniquely gifted. I am your god now.
Or is it PTSD?
Or was she like, yeah, exactly.
Don't do it.
How did I actually survive that? That was awful. So yeah, the things we learned about going over Niagara Falls in a barrel is that one, hardly anybody ever did it.
Weird.
And two, the people who did do it think it really sucks hard.
It's so weird how certain things like this, apparently a lot of things involving barrels
don't actually exist.
Yeah, became this imagery of the 20th century in the United States that you and I, years after anyone even had a barrel, except for wine merchants.
Right.
We never saw anything come in a barrel. Or Donkey Kong.
That's the only exposure to barrels.
But wait, even in Donkey Kong, the barrel, isn't she wearing a barrel?
I think he throws the barrel at people. Does anybody wind up in a barrel?
Oh, no, Princess Peach is in a blue outfit. But I keep thinking somebody's in a barrel.
I don't. See, that's one of those things. We need a stamp that just says cartoons only. So when you're going around your day and you see something that doesn't exist, like a pie on a windowsill, it's like ka-chunk. Kids, you think this is real, but
cartoons
it's not.
Only. No one's ever put a pie on the window.
It's unclear why it even got in cartoons.
It doesn't make any sense. There are flies everywhere.
It doesn't happen in real life.
Why would you put a pie on a windowsill? My
ka-chunk,
God.
Cartoons only. So this episode of The Omnibus is rated ka-chunk, cartoons only.
And that concludes Niagara Falls in a Barrel. Entry 836.PS4207. Certificate number 54642 in the omnibus. Futurelings, you know another thing that only happens in cartoons is people happily married, happily on social media. Anyone who's ever gone on social media knows that, in fact, it's like going over Niagara Falls in a barrel, something you would never want to do again.
Don't do it.
But there are a few places, very, very few places on the internet that it's safe to go. And those places are places where other futurelings congregate.
Safe spaces.
They congregate on Facebook. They congregate on Reddit and Discord and other places.
They're not bad retrograde people like me and John who will talk about barrel suicides with only like a 1-second trigger warning.
No, they'll give lengthy trigger warnings because most of what they're doing is communicating by typing.
That's correct. You'll have more time.
But
I'm opening the mail.
the most that's a throwback.
Classic omnibus bit.
The most popular social media site, as everyone knows, is YouTube.
Threads.
No, not even close.
MySpace.
No, it's YouTube, which I know LinkedIn is probably where you spend most of your time.
100%. That's where I find all my employees.
But you can actually watch this program on YouTube at youtube.com/@theomnibusproject. Ken just waved for those of you who want to go check out the show.
You shouldn't give away that kind of amazing bonus content to our non-viewers.
But I'm encouraging everybody to go over there.
I just waved. You don't want to miss it.
And you can email us and talk about this show or any other show or anything you want to talk about at theomnibusproject@gmail.com. And when we do our monthly addenda episode, Grant and I will sit here, and Grant maybe will read your letter out loud.
He's going to have a lot of news about what were the things we didn't know? Why South Carolina doesn't have earthquakes? Is a Maltese or a Havanese a terrier? I'm saying no.
What's the last thing that happened in Bay City, Michigan, after the Bay City Rollers?
Nothing.
You can submit to co-host the show. Ken did not submit.
I did, actually.
I guess he texted me and said, I'm coming over.
I tried to come last week, but you were sick. You had the Ukrainian flu.
I did. I had a Ukrainian flu last week. And then 2 days ago, I felt better. And then that night, all of a sudden, it went into my lungs and I became incredibly sick. And I was like, it happens every time.
John loves Ukraine so much, he just had to lick every surface while he was there. He was like, Slava Ukraine.
I did. No, I was
John, stop licking that train.
I was on a 16-hour train ride in a tiny compartment because the train was made in East Germany. And the other...
Where people were tinier due to malnutrition.
One of the people in the cabin was just coughing on me the whole time. And I was like, I'm going to get a Ukrainian cold, which I did. But you came a week later, which was very nice of you. Very, very...
it was the least I could do. I actually have a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
From Jeopardy.
Thanks.
And I just got back from South Dakota.
I saw that.
Not interesting.
What the hell were you doing there?
Well, you know how we've talked on this show about don't we have one North Dakotan listener? Because there's a radio that everybody shares in North Dakota.
We have thousands of North Dakotan listeners.
But she gets mad at me because I imply that there's nothing to see there. So
we actually recently did an episode on the giant radar installation in North Dakota.
So I made plans to go to all the national parks in the Dakotas, boarded the one flight a day to Dickinson, North Dakota to see Theodore Roosevelt National Park, was 20 minutes from landing, only to have fog move in and the pilot divert us back to Denver.
What?
And then there were no other flights. There was no room on a flight to Dickinson, North Dakota. There's only 2 flights a day to that airport. No flights were going to get in for days.
You got all the way there and then turned around and had to go all the way back.
I've been maybe over North Dakotan airspace, but I was not allowed to set foot in my ancestral homeland.
Super lame. So to
this day, I've not been to Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
Your ancestral homeland is North Dakota?
No.
No.
Maybe because of all the Laura Ingalls Wilder books I read.
No,
I'm an honorary Dakotan.
I don't think it qualifies. So then you were in Colorado. That's still a long way from South Dakota.
Yeah, they could get us on a flight to Rapid City. Oh. So we went straight to South Dakota, the good one.
National parks there.
And saw all the good stuff. State parks that are beautiful, national parks that are beautiful, and really good food.
Did you go to the Badlands?
Did. These Badlands are treating us good.
They were pretty bad.
No, they were good.
Yeah, they are good.
I mean, they're bad if you want to ranch them.
Did you go all the way down through all of the little roads?
The Badlands the placard I read implied that it was there is like a Lakota name for the Badlands that means land that is bad, but apparently they heard it from the French. Like the Sioux never were like, these are the Badlands. It's just the the French trappers started to be like, oh, these are the Le Terre Mauvais or whatever. And the Lakota are like, oh, Badlands. Okay.
Badlands, all right, that sounds pretty bad.
So they translated it back into Lakota, and from thence into English.
And have you never been to South Dakota?
Been to Rushmore. And that's pretty much it.
It's a pretty great state. It's got a lot going on.
Oh my
Corn
gosh.
Palace.
So good. Wall Drug.
We saw
all the highlights of Wall Drug.
You rented a car and drove around. But
did.
you weren't there for Sturgis.
No, I'm of course going back in August.
Had you been to Devil's Tower? It's not that far.
You can get to Devil's Tower pretty quick. We did not. I've done that drive from Gillette to Rapid City. Not sure I recommend it. But there's lots to do just within an hour, just in the Black Hills there.
Yeah. Black Mining Hills of Dakota.
That's right. We did not meet a young raccoon, but we did see a bunch of prairie dogs. You can't like drive down a back road there without seeing prairie dogs. And we saw the burrowing owls they share their burrows with.
I have seen a lot of prairie dogs. I've never seen a single burrowing owl.
I felt lucky. I felt blessed, touched by the hand of God.
If you go to Devil's Tower, there are more prairie dogs there than any other living creature any other place.
And Spielberg doesn't cover that.
No, that's right. They never show up.
That's what's unrealistic about that part of the movie is that Dreyfuss should constantly be stepping on prairie dogs.
I read just this morning, talk about Bader Meinhof, that prairie dogs have the ability in their 1 second long chirps that they make.
I did hear them chirp.
To identify the interloper, not only by
name,
not only by species, but by the color of their shirt, by the quality of their walk.
Wow.
Like they have now analyzed, because it's PhD students have run out of things to do.
It's like the bumblebee, the waggle dance.
Yeah.
But it's prairie dogs.
They have they now look at the prairie dog chirps, and they really zoom in on them.
And they can say like fat guy in a hoodie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And why I read that this morning, I don't know. The internet is weird. Speaking of the internet being weird, you should submit to host a show.
That's right.
All you need is a premise as flimsy as over the Niagara Falls in a barrel.
You don't even need a preposition.
No, about Niagara Falls
in a barrel. You can have that. That's a show.
Go to omnibusproject.com/submit and propose a show. And you can send us physical mail. Ken's over here opening mail that has, I guess, been stacking up.
It came to the old one.
The old mailbox. The new mailbox is care of the Omnibus Project, 609 Southwest 150th Street, number 48084, Burien, Washington, 98166-9998.
I feel like the old address was better.
Yeah, but
fewer numbers.
One of the problems is
you're not driving up to Shoreline.
That, but also nobody. At first, people were like, "How do you spell Burien?" It's like, I don't know. It seems kind of obvious, but then I realized it's not Burien.
If you spell it phonetically, I bet it will get to that mailboxes, etc., or whatever it is.
But you were just opening mail. Was it anything good, or was it personal mail for you?
No, the mail trickled out pretty quickly once we changed.
Yeah.
But I was at good old P.O. Box 55744. We are still on the mailing list of the Lay of the Land magazine, the Center of Land Interpretation in Culver City, California. And in fact, they currently appear to have an exhibit about Death Valley borax. What could be more omnibus coded than
Death Valley borax?
The top of the page says borax, borates, boron, which I assume is the name of the exhibit. So if you're in Culver
Moldova,
boron. So if you're in Culver City, maybe check it out and see if there's still borax-related content at the Center for Land Use Interpretation on Venice.
Surely there is that.
What else did I get?
Oh, right here. A piece of mail came to our mail spot. And so why don't you open this? It's a long tube.
You can do it on the next show if you want. Boop.
Yeah. Why don't we? Let's do it on the next show.
Okay. Well, so I just popped off the.
But we haven't looked.
The other thing we got, and this appears to be real mail, this was just somebody who didn't hear about the address change until too late. Ken and John, I wish this box was bigger. The previous one was much bigger. Wow, this person just keeps sending us stuff. Here are some more, this guy. Here are some more Japanese chocolates from our listener in Japan.
Ooh la la.
John, I believe, if I'm reading that right.
Let me see them.
My father-in-law's old glasses from Japan for John. And, oh my gosh, this is just catnip for you. Some Soviet-era tie pins.
Oh my God!
Share.
The amount of excitement I have right now is very much.
It's in shrink wrap.
Yeah. Chocolates.
Here's the Meiji brand chocolate.
Love them. I love their little mushrooms.
Here's a little. The Meiji mushrooms. Yeah. Here's a little bag with some cool
Soviet
CCCP tie pins. These are very cool. How many are there?
Let me see those.
Oh my gosh. There's like 5 Soviet tie pins here. You're going to, wait, this one has an American flag, so not a very good propaganda piece.
Are you going to want one of these to wear on your show? Let me see.
Oh my gosh. I think maybe only one is Soviet, but the rest are very cool. Sunflower, American flag with a native chief. And here are the glasses, the Japanese glasses from John's dad.
Whoa, fresh.
They look pretty good on me, but they would look better on you, I think.
Well, so this is a tie clip from the Japan USSR Games in Tokyo in 1966. So that is actually
That's
Soviet.
not the one that says CCCP.
No. And here's another. This one is also a wrestling. These are all wrestling themed, which is going to be curious to wear around.
Do you not have a lot of wrestling themed tie pins yet?
No, I don't. And then this one,
because ties and wrestling both have pins.
this little flower is some kind of Japanese thing, right? Isn't this kind of flower a Japanese emblem of some kind?
Is it? It's not the royal chrysanthemum, is it?
I think maybe. Isn't that a chrysanthemum?
Maybe it is. Viewers, sound off in the comments. There's your new glasses.
And finally, I want to encourage you. Ken and I talked for a full half hour, much to Ken's consternation.
Start the show.
He's like, "Why are you making me be here longer than I have to be? I have
like
other things
talking
to
to you, but
why, you can do that anytime.
Well, why on earth do we have to record it?
Because
to monetize it.
Our Patreon subscribers get to listen to the Get to Know Me episode. And in case you didn't know Ken enough already, it's another opportunity to get to know us, get to know the little chit chat.
Really some deep lore. Some deep lore about me dropped, I think, that people are going to enjoy. We talked about which camera I look at on Jeopardy.
How many cameras there are on Jeopardy.
What else did we talk about? I don't remember.
More Jeopardy. Oh, no, we talked about chronic pain. Until you interrupted me.
Here's what you're going to get. John talking about chronic pain. I changed the subject, and then that's about it.
He's like, all I know is Jeopardy, so let's just talk about that.
Enough about you.
So you can listen to this, what I'm describing as scintillating content, by going to patreon.com/omnibus project and contributing.
Did you not know the URL, or are you just looking at your reflection?
No, I without my glasses, I can never remember whether it's the Omnibus Project or Omnibus.
Got it.
It's Omnibus Project at patreon.com, and you'll have access to basically centuries worth of content that Ken and I created together in partnership, and now
then I bailed.
Additional awesome content as part of the Omnibus, the furtherance of the Omnibus Project.
How many episodes? I missed the anniversary. I wanted to do episode something 100.
700, 800.
And then I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I was out of town. So do you know what number we're at?
We're over that number, 705.
that number, we didn't know what it was. Oh, did that just happen?
Well, it was recent enough.
It was a few months.
Yeah. Well, but how many episodes are in a month? 4.
So I could come back for like 750,
yeah.
you think?
Well, 725.
Definitely before then.
718, which is 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, possibly even in a couple of weeks, depending on how you scatter these shows out. Listeners, from our vantage point in your distant past, we have no idea how long our civilization survived. We hope and pray the catastrophe we fear may never come. If the worst comes soon, as you know, this recording, like all our recordings, may be our final word. But if Providence allows, we hope to be back with you soon for another entry in the Omnibus.